say we get into it.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode number 3 of Schadenfreude. Newly minted, newly coined, same old bat channel.
Quite so.
Are we gonna? I'm not going to define that for anybody. I want them to go look it up on Google and figure it out for themselves what that means.
It's a beautiful word.
It is. It's one of my
no
favorites.
English translation.
I know. I want to create a word. Oh, dude, I gotta coin the English equivalent, and then I can say I made a word.
Yeah.
Only problem is it's going to be a combination of other words, which is just not good enough.
Is there money in that?
Probably
money
not.
in making words.
No.
Nope.
Because otherwise, then all the inner cities would be making way more money than they are. Because they just make up their own bullshit.
We solved inequality.
Well, see, no, the thing is that it's going to mostly be, oh my god, they're using a German word, they're confirmed Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Well, and...
I do Heil on the regular.
We'll also get the, bet they don't even speak German. Like, I don't give a fuck. Don't care.
Oh, you like this word in this other language? You don't speak this language fluently? Go fuck yourself.
That's right, I remember...
Gatekeeping in every regard.
Cultural appropriation. I remember when that first became a thing, like,
Let's
a couple years ago.
appropriate the German culture.
I don't think very many people try to appropriate the German culture.
I don't know, I mean, their food's pretty alright. You know, there's meat. There's
Last time they did that, they took the Rhineland back.
Hmm.
That's a pre-World War II joke.
They have a whole month dedicated to drinking.
Which I'm pretty sure Americans also celebrate in their own way. They just don't go too far into it. Because everybody loves Oktoberfest.
Speaking of celebrations, let's say this is the way we can get into some politics. Day before yesterday, did you guys celebrate? It was National Pronouns Day.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No, because celebrating nonsense is for retards.
Well, that's like half of our nation, dude.
Yeah, and the half of our nation should just go find a nice cliff to jump off of, too.
Yeah, that's
Is that-
Natural selection.
Well, see, here's the thing, though, is like, when somebody says it's national, insert whatever here, is like, I hardly take that seriously because there are people that... I mean, there's National Hug a Pug Day.
But I'm okay with that because pugs are great.
Well, yeah, but...
The UK police force celebrated. All of our
the UK police force doesn't even have
politicians.
guns.
All of our politicians celebrated.
Celebrated my ass.
They
walked on a public platform just to say, happy insert this retarded bullshit day, I mean pronoun day, and then what about that?
Yeah, I mean, did you see the LGBT town hall that all but 2 of the Democrat candidates took part of? We watched some of it, and it's...
Wait, are you talking about the one with Blossom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, with Blossom. Did we
And
talk about
the
We talked about that last week.
We talked about it
okay.
very briefly last week, yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
right. That was last week. This week was the
Debate.
which was just the same regurgitation of bullshit, except this time they talked about taking guns away by force.
Oh, that'll go over great.
That's good idea.
Was that,
Good
didn't you
idea.
say that one of them is like slightly non-insane though? Like,
I'm scared for her.
Why?
Because she just called out Hillary Clinton. She put Hillary Clinton on blast today. I would love to.
Wait. Start the Hillary Clinton death counter.
I would love to
Start
read
the
you her
timer.
tweet. I have it here actually. Let me.
T-1 week until insert this person here is dead by killing themselves.
I fear for Tulsi
With a shot
Gabbard.
to the back of the head.
Let me put this on here. Let me find her. Let me mute this.
You see, I went back to my abode. You see, and this is they're dead, so they're going to heaven. So how'd you die? Oh, I sat in my chair. And I sat up straight, and I decided, yes, it's time to end it. So I grabbed my 35 caliber, and then
I held it.
So
I
held it for-
dislocated my arm so that I could hold it to the back of my head.
and then I pulled the trigger. And I was just like, that's not what happened. I don't think that's possible. And it's like, yes, it is. What are you afraid of? You're dead. Hillary's got eyes everywhere, man. Come on.
So a little pretext. During the debates, it was on CNN's channel. So they've been rolling some pretty heinous shit in regard to Tulsi. They call her like a Russian pup. They do the same thing they did to Trump. Also in like, oh, she's for Assad. She loves terrorists and everything. And all that garbage.
Hilarious.
And it came like Hillary Clinton, like she finally like it became apparent that she's the one that's been like hit her on that shit. So it was this is her response. It was great. Thank you, Hillary Clinton. You, the queen of warmongers, embodiment of corruption and personification of the rot that has sickened the Democrat Party for so long, have finally come out from behind the curtain. From the day I announced my candidacy, there has been a concerted campaign to destroy my reputation. We wonder who has been behind it and why. Now we know. It was always you, through your proxies and powerful allies in the corporate media and war machine, afraid of the threat I pose. It is now clear that this is primary between you and me. Don't cowardly hide behind your proxies. Join the race directly.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Now, see, something I don't understand. If I was in these positions, as I'm sure they understand, I'm sure Hillary's either threatening her with death or is going to kill her.
Well,
I would literally say
that almost sounds like a publicity stunt to
It is,
extent,
because Tulsi Gabbard knows that she's not going to get the primary. She knows that the DNC is corrupted. She saw what happened in 2016. There's no denying that the DNC tanked Bernie Sanders' campaign for Hillary Clinton because it was her turn. She was the next up to bat in a long line of the corporate war machine. It's not just Dems. Bush is part of it. It goes all the way back, and it defies party lines. It's not restrictive, but it was Hillary Clinton up to bat, and Bernie is a socialist and a communist in a weird way that's counter to Hillary Clinton. So Hillary Clinton wants that whole Illumicism type shit. Like, they're that master slave rule over you. We want to be the ruling class elite type, and that's what they've effectively have been for so long. Like, it's been our entire lifetimes that it's been that. Bernie is...
He wants the complete opposite, basically.
No. He is an idealist that actually believes that the world will be a better place with communism and socialism, while the Hillary Clinton, Elizabeth Warren type Democrats,
I see what you're saying,
use that as a platform to gain control. Bernie Sanders is a retarded idealist.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is I don't think that Bernie Sanders is necessarily malicious. I think he's
exactly.
Just not
that's
very
what I mean.
Smart.
He actually thinks that he's Trotsky. he's essentially Trotsky.
Mm-hmm.
He believes that the things that they're pushing for is actually a good thing, while these other people are the other pigs in pants that know what the end comes. They know that man is gonna corrupt a system if it's corruptible.
Yeah.
but every system's corruptible somehow.
Yeah, I mean, everything is eventually corrupted. That's the downfall of Rome, was because a republic will eventually be corrupted. It's the same thing that's happening to this country, has happened to this country rather. It's been corrupted since 1913.
But is there a better country to live in the world besides here?
England.
Yeah, Jesus. Yes. I would almost want to say, there's some places that are reasonable, was it Sweden, I think?
Maybe Australia.
I disagree with that completely.
No, it wasn't. It's either...
Poland.
Or am I thinking of Switzerland?
Poland?
I think I might be thinking of Switzerland.
What's Australia like?
Oh, horrible.
Horrible? Okay.
Their government thinks they can control the video games.
Okay, never mind. Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
that's
the
right.
problem is that there's no place better than America, but that doesn't necessarily mean America's a great place to be. It means that the whole world is corrupt, and that's the great thing about the information age that we're in, and because it's more readily available and people are kind of awakening to it. Did you see these Syria thing? These 3 fake videos that came up that they tried passing off as Syria violence that's going on? Man. One was they on ABC for 3.5 days before they issued a retraction, they were putting out footage of a bombing, and it looks horrendous. Turns out it was a military photo op type thing in Kentucky at a shooting range, and they went and it was edited to they chopped that up. They didn't retract it for 3.5 days, and sorry. You know how the media works. People see that shit, and nobody looks for a retraction. They'll take that, and there's people that still believe that shit is true.
Yeah.
Another one was, this one was real, in that there were bodies everywhere, and it was from a church bombing in Africa in 2015.
They're not gonna actually show that.
No, they did. They
no, actually, I mean, like, if it was actually just happening, they wouldn't be showing that. No way. No way in hell.
You're right. But there was before I take the turn. That was from a bombing where Christians were. There's kind of a genocide going on in Africa that no one's talking about. A Christian genocide happening. No one cares. That's the sad truth. Nobody cares because it's Christians. Like, you had your time. Your time's over.
I don't care because I don't not care because of that. I don't care because I have my own problems.
Yeah.
Sorry, Africa, but I got United States of corruption to deal with.
It's all tied together, unfortunately. We supply weapons to facilitate that shit. We have been, still do. It's the whole war machine that's rolling, and it's because of the corruption in this country that the whole world. See, so what you're saying is, if I focus on the corruption here and I fix it, it'll fix Africa. Yeah. So in the end, if I care about me, it fixes everything else. Another one. This one was actually in Syria. There was a Syrian woman had her child in her arms and crying, "Oh, my dead child," and everything. Turns out they just drugged this little girl, and like you can see eyes lolling on the video if you look at it enough. But they drugged a little girl and tried to pass her off as a dead body to play for points. The whole point of this thing is there's been 500,000 to 1 million people killed since we've gone into Syria. There's been more press coverage since we decided to pull out in the past 72 hours over the entire time that we've been over there.
Figures.
That's disgusting. And like back to my original point is, how long has shit like this been going on that we haven't known about it? Like now that the information age is out, we can call out this fake news shit, and we can see it.
Videos can get more people can see editing because people who edit videos are like, this shit's edited, look at it, or more people can just. Some dude is literally just filming actual shit happening and it just goes, boom, there it is, internet, everybody can see it.
That's the beauty of the beauty of the information age, but also scared of deepfakes.
See, that's the thing. Scared of something like that's coming into power. But no, the internet is basically just the entire world in one big room.
I love it. That's why it's good and evil. It's both. I mean, it's neutral. It doesn't give a shit.
Pretty much.
That's the beautiful thing about 4chan and everything.
Wait a minute, are you telling me that the internet's objective?
Oh my god, no way. They're trying to end that though.
Oh, that's not gonna way. I'll fight that till I die.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point, right? I mean,
that was the whole. I think
control what you say because they can't.
Wasn't that kind of
everybody else to edit yourselves?
Wasn't that kind of the whole thing they were going for an end product with Article 13?
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah, because I knew that. I don't think it was Article 13. I think it was another part of that whole whatever. But there was something where if you actually linked to an outside source, the person, like for example, if you were to post a link to an article on Facebook, Facebook would have to pay a fee to that website in order to have that link there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Mm-hmm. That would actually go through. I guess it did.
Well, it did go through. That's the thing.
I mean, yeah, but no one's gonna give a shit. They're literally just gonna say we're not doing that, and then they're gonna realize, wow, we just fucked ourselves out of.
All that Article 13. Once Article 13 passed, the only thing that happened was VPNs got a big ass smile on their faces.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's literally
exactly.
Well, let me just install ExpressVPN. Hey, look.
Come on, NordVPN sponsor.
Right.
Yeah. Sure. I'm down for VPNs. Hell yeah.
Because the article itself isn't the law. Like, it's basically the thing of saying, here's what you have, and then the separate countries make laws from that, right? Okay, that's what I thought.
Something like that. I don't know, man. I'm getting lost in the sauce of everything because everything is so double speak now.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's what I heard. Is I heard that Article 13 was going to affect different other countries differently because of the fact that some of those countries would implement them in sometimes radically different ways, depending on how far they went with it.
You got a license for that Pornhub?
Yeah. So.
Oh man.
Imagine purchasing a porn watch viewing license.
Remember when net neutrality was a thing that people were freaking out about?
Mm-hmm.
You remember when it going away was a thing people were freaking out about?
Yeah.
Like, ooh. Ooh.
So I was thinking about, because you brought up Syria, it reminded me of something I saw today. Mexico is having a street war.
They're always having a street
No, but
war.
like
It's the government and the cartels are fighting. It's weird because the cartels are the government. Like, it's all over El Chapo's son.
Yeah, got arrested. So now there's literally just fighting in the street. People riding down the middle of streets and cities shooting at people.
Yeah, man, it's pretty wild. And
It's fucking like, glad I'm not in Mexico right now.
No. Yeah. I wouldn't want to live there personally, but
no,
No, it's hot. It's
Fuck
hot.
no.
yeah,
It's-
nobody does. That's why
It's
they keep
run
trying to
by
come
the
over here.
cartels. It is so corrupt. It is so corrupt. Like, how many during when they were building up to their last presidential campaign, how many politicians were killed? Like, and then they're like, okay, here's this one, but he's not corrupt. Like, right. Like, I think it was like 13 politicians were killed during the build up to the presidential election.
Then there's Canada that has their like basically an SJW like prime minister.
Oh,
isn't he?
Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, like he's
That guy's an
an
idiot.
idiot, isn't he?
He's a giant pussy. Just kowtows to any agenda that the left comes up with. And like, yeah, I'm with that. And like, aren't you the same guy that's getting dragged for being in blackface like how many times?
Oh yeah, I saw that
No.
stuff.
But here's a little presser. Here. You have two black girls go and ask you why, and then say that you shouldn't, and then everything's okay. It all goes away. Like, that's a little played, a little on the nose.
Which is weird because usually it's like when you acknowledge something that you did and you apologize to the internet, that just makes it worse. Like you don't want to apologize to these people.
No, not if the media is on your side. Then it all goes away. Then you atoned for your sins and you became stronger for it.
No, but all it takes is just one person saying, "I don't think that he really meant it."
Yeah, but delete.
Yeah, but
Now,
yeah.
do you see that Twitter changed its policy towards elected officials? Like,
Oh,
What did they change it to?
now they're getting it's how comments and how people are able to interact with them. So it's a lot more skewed. So you'll see more bad for who they deem that you should really be looking out for what these people are doing, and then you'll see the good shit for the people that.
Twitter's such a
We want to
shit
be good.
fest of fucking circle jerking
is.
idiots.
It's still the best platform, I feel. Unfortunately, like it's not great. Much like just because America's the best place to be doesn't mean it's good.
Well, this is like Facebook is going straight to hell. Like I don't even know.
Oh, but
where
Mark
they-
Zuckerberg, he came out and supported free speech, though.
Zuckerberg can go die in a hole.
Did he
That
actually?
fucking lizard
Yeah.
man looking
Get
fuckhead.
oppressor.
He's probably just trying to get some like free point because he knows his platform is
Well,
dying.
no, it's point. Like
Oh, I guess
it's
maybe.
it's point while and it's point at someone else.
There's a
They're
certain-
not doing the right thing. We are.
There's
Don't look
so-
at us. Look at them.
So few people I know at this point actually even use Facebook.
I use
I've
Facebook
been
because
using
I
it
get
for years.
all my dank maymays, and then I get
Yeah.
some really good lewds and big anime titties. That's what it's for. Everyone's like, "Hey, look, my friend posted something," and back to all the anime titties.
This is like usually most of the time when I'm scrolling
Poor
through Facebook.
Tumblr, that could have been their market.
Oh, no.
You know, it was, and then they're like, "Hey, porn bad." And it's
And
just
then-
like, you just ostracized 3/4 of your user base. Are you retarded?
Well, it's because 4chan went to war with them, and well,
Yeah.
you don't go to war with 4chan.
Yeah. No, it's just mostly for me. It's just like scrolling through my Facebook friends or my Facebook feed. I'm seeing their thing myself. Why am I friends with half these people? But, no, Facebook is really like I don't even know why.
Their design is shit. They need to hire somebody else to like design everything.
But that's the sad thing because for how bad Twitter is, it does have technically a better.
I don't know how to find.
Setup.
I don't know how to open up like comments on things.
What do you mean?
I don't know how to open up like.
What, you click the thing and then
I
it's just there. What?
Maybe it's because their shit's unintuitive. I click the thing. It's like, you want to read? We want to comment on it. It's like, I want to look at the comments. I don't see other comments. I'm like, I don't understand what the fuck I'm looking at.
I don't. Are you talking about Twitter?
Yeah.
What? I don't understand. Like
I don't understand either. That's my problem.
No, like, legitimately, all you do is you just tap on the tweet.
Yeah, you click the tweet and then it's all comments. Like that's all that it is.
Oh. So I didn't know you could actually click the tweet because it's not fucking obviously hyperlinked. So I was hitting like the fucking things on the bottom because you'd think that the little thing.
Are you doing this on your phone or on your computer?
I don't know.
I don't remember. How do you never accidentally clicked it?
Because I don't use Twitter because it's a shithole.
Nah, Twitter's great. You just got to know, like, you got to be able to, like, oh, well, that's obvious. I'm in a bubble right now. Move on from the bubble. Get out of that.
Yeah, well, I legitimately only use it to follow, like, the couple people that I like on YouTube. And that's about it. But
Yeah, that's the basics for me too. But I've used Twitter less than 3 times in the past year and a half.
Oh, yeah. I like my Twitter.
I think your
it's
Twitter
actually
feed
a
is
better
probably...
way to.
What?
Oh yeah, I mean,
yours is probably a lot more interesting than mine is, because mine is mostly just, like I said, the YouTubers talking about movies. But
yeah, I mean, I cultivate it pretty well. Like I go through and I don't just like follow everybody under the sun. I follow whose opinion I kind of value or whose opinion I want to see. So I follow people I value and I follow corrupt politicians.
The people you gotta watch.
I follow people that are obviously skewed and I just know them for the skew that they have, and I don't know. I think it's a more honest platform than anything.
I guess
you can engage with anybody on it. Like I've engaged with like some people that otherwise like on a YouTube channel you'd never be able to talk to, but it's just there.
That's reasonable. I can accept that.
Yeah. This is the fact that for me, it's kind of one of those actions so easy to get banned from there. Which again, that's why it's like I'm amazed that Donald Trump hasn't been banned off of it yet. To be honest, but
they'll fuck themselves by doing that.
Yeah, that's the because they won't ban Trump despite Kamala Harris's attempts. Like on the debates the other day, she'd been calling for it, and then she reaffirmed like we need to ban him off Twitter. Why?
Seriously?
Oh yeah, and was calling out like especially Elizabeth Warren because she thought that this would be the gotcha bitch moment.
Well, it's just like okay, like thinking about this logically. It's like say you don't like Trump. Say he's like you really don't like him as a president, as a person, whatever, and you successfully ban him off of Twitter. What does that do?
Well, she knows that it's not going to happen. She's trying to tap to cancel culture.
Well,
That's all she's trying to do. But she doesn't actually expect them to be banned off of it. And I think she's smart enough to realize that if Trump gets banned off of Twitter,
he's just going to go to Gab or something
somewhere else.
Exactly.
Like, did you see that he made a Twitch? His campaign made a Twitch account.
Oh God, I didn't.
Donald, our fucking commander-in-chief on Twitch. Hell yeah.
That's a decent platform. I mean, they're garbage. Their policy, their TOS is terrible. But it's a great way to reach people.
I saw this.
Just curb your shit.
This thing of Trump. This has completely nothing to do with this. But this French person's asking about unemployment. He might have
saw this shit.
Yes, and he's fucking. So this French person, they're like
sick burns. This is why I love the president.
Why is your unemployment rate is lower than the ones in France? Keep in mind, this with a thick retreat accent.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is that?
So much better?
So they give Mike Trump, and he goes, I don't know, maybe we'd have a better president than you, and he just gives them the shittiest eating smile ever.
You'd be
fucking thug
loud music blares, thug life pops up, glasses go down, joint goes in mouth.
Of course.
And it's great. It's just like, holy shit, you just got completely roastified. I mean, granted, obviously, does it mean anything? No. Was it professional? No. Does it actually, did it give a real answer? No. But I really don't care.
No, I think that's my favorite thing about Trump is every other politician does this double speak bullshit where they'll never legitimately answer a question, they'll never say anything.
Or they'll answer a question with a question.
This dude's a New York businessman. Like he's blunt, he's brash. Like who gives a shit? Like everyone's like, oh, we need to be more presidential. Get fucked. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Like that's fake bullshit. Why is everyone wanting and crying for fake bullshit? For obvious fake bullshit?
Well, it's just like Because I did watch a
I'd
little
rather
bit
have
of
it
his. I did watch a little bit of his little Dallas thing that he did last night. Not all of it, because I was like passing out.
If you've seen one, you kind of seen them all.
That's
he
what I
interjects
figured,
a little bit of new stuff. Like,
well, mostly just because I wanted to see like what he would talk about, and it's interesting because he's like almost like a stand-up comedian. Just the way that he just makes fun of everybody.
I
It's just
love
like,
it. I love it, man. And like he kind of called him. He hit some like he's been getting more aggressive the past month about it, and I think it's kind of necessary, and it's good that he's doing it because they're getting crazy, man. Like this behind closed doors, not impeachment inquiry is some Caesar type shit.
Yeah.
Some dastardly bullshit that's going on that nobody wants to talk about. Media's not talking about it. Like it's a little. Well, they're talking about the other side. They're like, Orange Man bad side of it.
yeah.
Because I don't understand.
Now,
well, I do understand. I keep saying that, but
Now, this is a question. Is like I'm going to try and explore a little something. This is kind of going off on a little bit of a different thing here, but like if we were to set like policies aside and things like that, what do you think would be an actual like legitimate, not crazy SJW Democrat reason for not liking Trump as a president? This is like for me. I always thought it was like he has like a little bit of an ego on him. It's like he's.
But that's shit that I don't. So all the way back to before he was elected, it's shit that I hate, and it's like the whole locker room talk thing, and it happened with Mitt Romney too. So during the debates when he was going up against Obama, like I'm not a Romney fan by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't know enough about him.
Just remember, we're poor people and we should buy more money.
Yeah.
Oh, is he the one that said that?
That's Mitt Romney who
Okay.
thinks that way about poor people.
For some reason, I thought that was Ben Shapiro. I know he said something to a similar effect, but
Yeah. But it happened then too, and it's shit that I've always despised, but it works, and it's always worked, and it's like they went and when they were talking to Romney about like you don't hire enough women, and he's like it's not true, and he came out in the debate because like he knows he's gonna get hit on that, so he had his little talking point. He's like, look, we have binders full of women that we go and we choose from because we want to pick strong women, and they're like, he has binders full of women, sexist, blah blah blah, and like did the same thing with like canceling PBS and like he wants to get rid of Big Bird, like little shitty talking points like that don't actually matter, that they go and twist to make bullshit. They did it with like the locker room shit, like we're not all human beings and talk like dirty sons of bitches everywhere. Like everybody does. Women do it, men do it, but we all play high and mighty about politicians. I hate it. I hate it so much, and that's why like the ego thing is like he's just being honest about it, in my opinion. Like it's.
I would agree with that. Well, it's because I was just thinking, it's like the main talking points that I hear about why he's a horrible person and all that. It's like, let's see. Well, obviously,
they call him a dictator, which is.
I mean,
that's hilarious.
I'm going with the slightly not as insane reasons.
But that's like a main thing. Like that's what every Democrat is running on. We have to get him out because he's dangerous to the nation.
Yeah.
And like
I remember like back in 2016, I remember it was like the whole thing is like, oh, he's a sexist, he hates women, he hates Mexicans, he hates like he's a white supremacist, like that kind of thing. And I was just thinking about it, it's like, what are the actual reasons on why? What would be the actual criticisms of him as a politician?
There's a reason why he has like the highest approval rating of any Republican since like I don't know Lincoln. Like he has higher approval rating amongst Republicans than Reagan did, and Reagan won his second election by a fucking landslide. Like I think he won like but one state or some shit.
I believe so.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a blowout, and Trump has higher, not amongst politicians, Republicans, because they're doing something fucky, and they're starting to go with the impeachment's not such a bad idea type shit.
Right.
Like for what Like, what are they actually trying to impeach him for?
That's the thing. They can't, like, that's what I'm confused about, because they cannot impeach him. They literally cannot, because he hasn't done anything. So
that's why they didn't put it to a vote, and that's why these whistleblowers are behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they are barring Republicans from it. It's like, I don't want to sound like an alarmist, but it's a coup. Like, it's actually a coup. Like, trying to get rid of the president under false pretenses.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to call that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I don't.
there's another word for it. I believe it's called mutiny.
Oh, that's one that I remember too.
Coup, mutiny, treason.
The whole idea is like, this is one I've heard quite a few times, and this is like one of the not as insane criticisms, but people say that, oh, he spreads hatred and all that. What was your opinion on that?
I think it's like, I think it's more crying out in pain as you're slapping your enemy.
Yeah. It's fine, interesting that they say that, oh, he's spreading hatred. It's like, oh yeah, but if we all spread hatred against Nazis, you wouldn't care.
Yeah.
It's okay when the hatred is against somebody you don't like, you hypocritical piece of shit. I hate you.
And he's actually denounced Nazis. He actually has.
Well, that's the thing.
He's actually denounced white supremacy.
I legitimately think that if it would have been the other way around, if it would have been, say, I don't know, if it was Obama talking about Trump, which I don't know, like Obama's personality, I don't think he would. But if he was saying the same things to Trump that Obama, or wow, my brain is melting. Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't feel like there'd be as much of an outrage of people saying that Obama is spreading hatred at that point.
No,
Do you think?
he no, not at all. Obviously not. Like Obama goes out and does speeches. He had one that he went down into Brazil and was spreading lies about how we sell guns in America type shit. And have any of you seen that? Have you seen that video? That should be national fucking news.
Yeah.
Like, but it doesn't, and but it doesn't matter. It's because the DNC and the Industrial War Machine and the media are all three different branches of our little elite underground hidden, not so hidden bullshit that's going on.
Yeah.
Propaganda is alive and well in the United States, man. Like, they bury stories that they don't want seen.
Well, it's like, wasn't there something that wasn't it? I heard that it was legalized back in like 2012 that you could have propaganda in the media, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 2012.
Or they probably didn't word it like that, but
of course not. Propaganda's bad.
I'll pull it up some other time, and if I can remember, I'll pull up the .gov site and pull up the actual legislation.
I am fairly curious about that.
They legalized propaganda in the United States. It hadn't been legal since 1948.
Yes.
Is we made it illegal?
They legalized it so they could fuck with the system more than they already were.
Yeah.
And it became legal because they're fucking with the system.
So it's not illegal to blatantly misuse a Kentucky military event as Syria war footage.
Mm.
That's completely okay. They're just gonna say, "Whoops, my bad," 4 days later, and no repercussions. They're just, "Oh, whoopsies."
Yeah.
That does tremendous harm. Like,
no, that's.
Meanwhile,
that's a massive.
That story gets buried the same weekend. What ended up being the main, like, oh, this is bad, was a meme about Trump. They put a Trump face on a scene in, what was that movie? What was the movie? The church scene with the boom boom. Kingsman. There it is.
I need to watch that movie.
I'll show you the clip. It's pretty funny. It's a good meme. It's a pretty good meme. I like it. But that's the big terrible thing.
I don't look at them. I get them from other sources.
Not living memeology like some kind of plebonian.
That's the thing. I don't even need to go out of my way to show her the obscure ones. I can show her the really common ones that most people have already seen, and she wouldn't have seen it. So
you're living the dream.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it actually. I don't know. I like my obscure memes. Like when it's literally a picture of Mung Dahl from China, it says Cuban Missile Crisis. It's not funny, but it's hilarious. I don't know why, and it's because my humor is degenerated and retardation. I don't know why.
I like some dark humor in my memes.
It's not even humor though. It's just a low-res pic of Mung Dahl. It doesn't make any sense. I laugh every time I see it because I'm a fucking idiot.
No, but I would say that easily, like, probably at least 50% of his hour-and-a-half speech last night was mostly making fun of everybody else. Everybody,
with it. Like those, I mean, because that's what gets the people going.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, if you're being attacked, why wouldn't you attack back anyway?
He was just like pointing at the cameras and saying, "Hey, look at all the fake news that's looking at me." Like essentially doing that. It's like, wow, you are just
like
trying to push their buttons.
And the minute that I say their name, you see all those little red lights go off.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I know it was muscle memory, but I kept seeing him do the OK hand sign, and it made me happy.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it was like over and over again. He kept doing it. I'm just like, oh, you're pissing off so many people by doing that.
It looked like a couple times he was trying not to.
Dog whistle.
Yeah.
Dog whistle. Racist.
But yeah, you can tell it's like one of those things where it's like he was just doing it because he's used to doing that. Probably when he talks, he strikes me as somebody who uses his hands a lot when he talks.
Yeah.
So
I did the same thing. I'm pretty.
So do you.
I know.
I have a bad habit of doing that. I'm like, nice.
I now do it
Nice.
just because I send him okay that way.
Yes.
I'm waiting someday. Someone will tell me that's racist, and then I'll say, "Are you appropriating my culture? Are you assuming my race? Are you assuming my intent?" You're doing a lot of assuming. You know who assumes? Trump, and then they'll be like, and they'll just die right there.
No, then they just call you racist and carry on, or they take your hat, or they choke you out, or something.
Oh, please throw hands! I have so much rage and aggression. I would
Dude,
love to kill somebody.
there's so many videos going around after these rallies. Like the main one is in Minnesota. There's been a lot of footage coming out. I don't understand it. These people are so much more controlled than I am. Someone slaps the shit out of my girlfriend.
Oh, this person's about to get rocked.
I don't care who you are, what sex you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing it as a political statement,
Yeah.
if you're doing it for no reason, and like if my girlfriend's being a bitch, I'm probably not gonna hit you back because I'm willing to accept that my girlfriend's being a bit of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
But walking by, because you're wearing a Trump hat or you coming from a rally and just slapping the shit and like do what, trying to start. Well, let's get some shit going.
Well, I've seen all the time.
I'm not that kind of escalation.
I've seen all the time, like
It's terrible.
You knock him out in one hit.
people that like certain I don't even think they were politicians, just like political commentators that they just videotapes of people just punching them in the streets.
See,
And
that's the real problem I have with these people. You cannot like Trump, fine. This is a free country. That's what's supposed to be great about it. It's not really a free country, but it's as close as we're going to get for now. You cannot like him. You can speak out against him. That's why we're supposed to have free speech. That's what the point of it is. However, if you want to make your point, acting like a fucking animal and attacking people who are just talking about it, you're not punching Trump through this, dude. You're just punching some dude on the street.
No, you're trying to stir shit, and we're
What's the thing? And it's
Americans have
celebrated
been pussified, and I think it's all due to the Catholic Church.
There was
to the destruction of the Catholic Church and how we're supposed to be meek and we're supposed to turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
I don't turn the other cheek.
There was one, I can't remember the guy's name. It was, because it was also somebody I didn't know, but basically it was a video of him.
Vatican II.
Yep.
What?
Yep. Vatican II.
He was talking to some people, and then just out of nowhere, this person just came onto the camera and just slugged him. And there were people that were sitting there like...
Oh, I remember.
What was his name?
I think that was Richard Spencer, if I remember right.
It might have been.
I think so. I think that's who you're... Yeah, that was during the punch and Nazi era of time.
Yeah,
that was Richard Spencer.
Yep, and so...
Everybody I don't like is a Nazi.
Yeah,
pretty
right.
much. Yeah, and so
everyone's a Nazi.
So I was seeing people that were taking that, and they were like putting music to it and stuff like that, and trying to make it into jokes and all that, like really bad jokes, obviously, because these people do not have sense of humor like to save their lives.
The left can't meme.
Which I legitimately do not understand, because like some of their jokes aren't even politically related, and yet sometimes Like, I'm going to sound really like I'm generalizing here, but sometimes you can tell somebody's politics by how good of telling a joke they are. But
when did what's happening? Like, it was
I don't
like
know.
the left was always like that was free speech. That was where all the comedians were. Like, they were always like, fucking Robin Williams hated Ronald Reagan because he was a Republican and like the shit that he did. And granted, as we go further in time, we'll find that Ronald Reagan was probably anyway. I don't want to piss people off.
Yes, you do. Don't lie to me. At my own podcast. What?
Don't you dare. You get people angry now.
I mean, how many people do you suppose we have pissed off just with the things that we've said
Hopefully
so far?
at least
Hopefully
half
enough.
a million.
Yeah.
Hopefully enough, and that gives meaning to the name of the podcast. And
Yes.
because I grow.
Yes.
I grow stronger from your anger.
Like, please leave your comments and tell us that we're Nazis.
Go for it. Then I'll just drop. I'll wait for it. The first time that somebody called me a Nazi, I already have the ultimate bomb drop on that one, and I'll wait. I'm gonna wait.
You do realize people are going to do it just to see what you would say now.
Oh, I know. But
You
then
can
they
be,
can't.
you can be a Jewish Nazi.
No, you can't.
Want to bet?
Yeah.
Real. I mean, honestly, the thing is, I never knew why did they hate Jews? What was their? I don't know. I never really knew what their thing was.
They
was it
were
just because
because
they got the money.
He would
because
probably
they got the shekels.
You'd probably be able to explain it better, but I'm guessing it was just the whole idea that was just where they were starting, and
probably.
they were going to
because
go
they didn't because Nazis hated black people.
Yeah.
They hated everybody that wasn't them.
Explain.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, the hating black people. So, there's a weird discovery I made. I'll pull up some pictures. Have you read about or heard about how during the rise of the Nazi Party they had the Olympics over there? Jesse Owens went over, and it was a big problem because he was a black dude that beat all the Aryans in his events and shit. Won a bunch of medals, and Hitler was mad and stormed out of the event. It's completely untrue. There's all kinds of pictures of Hitler and Jesse Owens like shaking hands and everything after his events. It's weird. It goes back into like our media has been manipulating things for a long time. On the other side of that coin, guess who was barred from going to the White House upon returning? The Olympic champions that were of color were barred from going to the White House in a time where is meeting Jesse Owens, shaking Hitler's hand. There's been some manipulation with that stuff. I'm not saying Hitler's a good dude, because anyone that kills millions of people is an evil fuck that deserves the bullet that he put in his own head. I wish other people would have been able to do more.
Unless he didn't, and he went to Peru, like people are saying. But
yeah, I doubt. I think he was a pussy and killed himself.
Yeah.
What the beginning of the Jewish hatred in the build up of the Nazi Party has a lot to do with Russia, communism,
Of course it does.
centralized banking, and a movement that is, when translated into English, is anti-fascist. That was the rise of the party. There was a legitimate Antifa, and they used the same flag that Antifa of our time uses. They were the same.
Damn.
They were the same thing, and it was a communist. It was the attempt. It was the building of the Communist Party in pre-World War II Germany, post-World War I Germany.
It's all about the schmeckles, man.
It is. It actually
about the
is.
schmeckles.
World War II, at the end of the day, was about shrugging off centralized banking. Like that's ultimately what a huge portion of it comes down to. And Germany, at the end of World War I, they were fucked. They got fucked. They were doing well in the end in the war. But the banks of Germany betrayed them. This is what they call the Great Betrayal, and that's where the anti-Semitism really comes from, is with communism and the centralized banking, because a lot of them happen to be Jewish. A lot of the heads of those banks that dicked them over happen to be Jewish.
Probably though.
I mean, right? I mean, I hate that goes to that correlation of like you should hate the elites for being the nasty fucks that they were, not the religion that they followed.
Plus, also, I mean, yes, they fucked you over. Was genocide the answer? Probably not.
No.
I don't think that was the move.
So
I think that was maybe wait.
A little overreaction, but there's also a part of history that we don't hear about, and that is the genocide that was happening to German Christians on the Polish border at the hands of communists. Like, we don't hear about that. That is a huge number of the millions upon millions that Stalin killed during his time. Like, there's a huge chunk of history that we don't hear about So, I hate villains in movies that are just evil just to be evil. That's like what we prop Hitler as.
He's evil because evil.
He's just an evil man, and like he was always just the most evil, ruthless. His whole thing was kill people, kill everyone. And like his original goal was taking back what was, because the Germans, like, they really got fucked at the end of World War I. It had a lot to do with the United States and our president at the time, Wilson. This was about the time that America took a turn towards centralized banking, and when we started sacrificing a lot of our freedoms in lieu of
sucking the warm tea to China.
Yeah, kind of. Essentially, it was the UK and centralized banking at the time, but essentially, yeah, and that's kind of what we're still fighting today. It's the same war that's never ended, and it's been constantly ongoing. It even has ties to our Civil War, believe it or not. It's
just like with the whole thing of like, oh, he's evil because he's evil. It's just like, the thing is about human nature is every single thing that anybody does, it is for the intention of a positive outcome.
I want to believe that, but there are truly wicked people, like,
Oh yeah,
there
positive
are,
for them.
and there are people there are low IQ people that are manipulated to do evil things, and like I don't.
But they still
like gang.
They still believe that
shit.
What they do will result in a positive outcome.
Yeah,
at
for
least
them,
at least for them, or else they wouldn't do it.
They're gonna do something that makes sense. Oh, I'm going to help genocide people because it protects my family. I'm going to genocide people because I think it's right for my country. I'm going to do whatever you want. They can swing it however they want, whether or not that you want to.
You can manipulate anybody to think that someone's some type of person's life is less valuable than yours because X.
That's what speechcraft is all about, making them believe. The thing is, you never tell someone to do it. The truly silver-tongued people, they don't tell you, do it because I told you to. They make you believe that the decision you're making is your own, not them telling you to do it. That's what it means to convince somebody.
Yeah.
You give them an idea and you make them believe they came up with it all on their own, that they're a free thinker. Mm-hmm. It's the basics of salesmanship.
Yeah.
You want to tell something, sell something to somebody. You don't tell them, you want to buy this because you want to buy it. You buy it because you need it, because, obviously, just look.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of time, just a little bit of feeding.
Which is actually that
propaganda.
That reminded me, like you talking about that, kind of reminded me of a somewhat personal story. You'll know what I'm talking about.
No, great.
Well, speaking of low IQ people that just think that they're just doing things and it's going to work out, we had somebody who worked at the place of my employment at one point who had purple hair.
Oh, this retard. I hate this person. I know exactly what you're talking about. I hate this person.
Yeah.
She's stupid, and I hate her.
Yeah, no, I told her about you. I told her about her on our first date, actually.
I mean, she's not stupid because it's a she. It just happens to be that she is...
You just hate her because you don't have...
You're actually, wait, no, I forgot. I'm a gamer. I hate minorities, and I hate women.
Yes.
I forgot. Gamers rise up.
Yeah. But anyway, it was one of the things that she decided she was going to engage me in conversation at one point because I was being nicer to her than he was.
Yeah, because she didn't like that I called children retarded, and I'm like, well, as soon as they stop acting retarded, I'll stop calling them retarded.
I wish we could use that word just in public without getting crucified. That's such a good word. It literally means just slow.
Mentally defective.
Retarded means something slower than it's supposed to be.
Yeah, because if you retard a flame, it goes out. You bring it down. It's
Yeah,
but just
it's
because
lag and lead. Like,
Yeah.
let's just instead of retarded, let's start calling them laggers.
No, but one of the questions that she asked me was, while she was.
I know exactly where this is going.
Yeah, yeah. She was basically trying to determine how much she could save me. Essentially, I'm guessing.
No, she was trying to determine if you were Nazi or not.
No, yeah, probably.
That's what it
But
was.
she asked me, do you believe that Mein Kampf should be banned or not? And I said, no, of course not. And she was like, first she had like this, of course, this shocked expression on her face, and she said, well, why would you want people to have access to such hateful ideals?
Did you even read what it was? Do you
Well,
know
it's
what
like,
it
first of all, do
says?
you even know what the book says, first of all? It's like,
No.
yeah. But it's just
But I
like,
know it's evil,
Well,
even
it's
though I
like-
don't know.
let's say for the sake of argument that it was. Like, the entire book was just kill all minorities, everybody has white supremacy, good, whatever. Let's say the entire book was just that. Why would you ban that and make it so that people can't have access to that to see why it is bad?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just banning it so that
Book
people...
burning was something done a long time ago by some certain religious individuals I can
Because
think of.
here's the thing, though, is like as soon as you ban something, people are going to try and go for it more, and they're because of the human nature idea of it's being banned.
And you stop if you ban that book, you stop the ideals that oppose that.
It is literally the history repeats itself thing.
Well, because if you don't have...
and they don't realize that.
It's a really
the
simple
exact
balance
same
thing.
thing as censorship
If
online.
you don't have...
Different medium.
You want to oppose this horrible thing, right? You want to oppose this horrible thing, so you get rid of this horrible thing. And you get it so nobody even remembers this horrible thing. It's just going to come up again. How do you oppose something that doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Dark and light do not exist as the polar opposites to destroy one another. They live in balance because you can't know one without knowing the other.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing about how human morality works. Also, you were talking about history we don't know. There's an anime that has a subplot that's about that. One Piece. One of the main characters is an archaeologist, and her dream in life, because every character is supposed to have a dream that they're working towards. Her dream as an archaeologist is to find out about this one specific area of time that no one knows about. It's called the Void Century. Nobody knows what happens in this one century because the world government... Yes, there's a world government in the show.
There's a world government now.
Yes, but this one's literally... It's
Tune
literally
in
just
next
called...
week.
It's literally just called the world government, and they've suppressed all knowledge. But there are these things, I forgot what they're fucking called. They have a
Sounds
really
like a
cool
true
name.
story to me.
There are these stone tablet things that are like these fancy like cubes that have this weird.
Of course, they're cubes.
Really hard to. I don't know if they're all cubes, but the one that she found in one of the places they go, which is some island in the sky, has this cube, and it's hard to translate, but she can do it because she's the best archaeologist ever. Blah blah blah, and she's trying to figure out what happened, and it's just like, that's interesting. How about that?
Yeah.
Art reflects real life in a lot of ways.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
You know, I've recently been on a kick of how much I despise the end of the Roman era when they were conquering Africa and everything. They destroyed so much knowledge that it's just gone forever now.
I'm talking like the Library of Alexandria.
That's only one
That's
part.
one of many that just gone forever. It's tragic, and they're not the only ones. Like Islam's been doing it. Like ISIS, they've been blowing up temples and shit that have been standing since fucking before Jesus.
If Assassin's Creed, if their logic is right, and the memories are in the DNA, that means that technically that knowledge is not lost. You see somebody with the right ancestry, and you could go back, and you could theoretically get that knowledge. Does it work like that? I don't know. I'm not a genealogist. I don't understand how any of that works. It's probably not real.
Only hope.
Okay, that's not fair. He's a good actor. He just takes
He
shitty
is.
movies, and that movie's retardedly
No,
Get
bad.
that money.
I was sitting there looking at his IMDb the other day, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my god, Michael, why do you keep agreeing to be in terrible movies? He was in Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's same with
Well,
fucking.
of course he was. Like he was in all the other one. He was in all the other X-Men.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, he's been in all. He's Magneto. He's been Magneto
Oh.
since the reset.
Yeah,
Oh,
since the
that's the
Days of
soft
Future
reset.
Past and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Grant, he does a fantastic job as Magneto.
Yeah.
He's great. And Magneto is also one of the best X-Men characters to exist because you can't hate him because he's a Jew.
Good actors
literally
can't help the shitty,
lived
the shitty
through
writing.
He lived through the fucking Holocaust. That's what makes his character so fucking like you can't really hate Magneto because they're just like everything has oppressed me for my entire life, so fuck you.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is a good actor, and he has generally good movies aside from Signs. But
Well,
I mean,
because he picks his
Yeah,
picks his roles.
He's really
not,
particular.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not. Michael Fassbender is our generation's Nicolas Cage.
I guess
I
Take
don't-
them roles.
Poor
Take them
Nicolas
roles.
Cage, dude, because I don't think he's actually like a horrid actor.
No, he's not. He just takes any role because he needs that fucking money to fund his giraffes and
That's
shit.
it. I don't know if we talked about
He's
this
got a
on the
unique petting
podcast
zoo.
or not. I don't remember if we talked about this on the podcast, but we were actually looking. Nicolas Cage has been in a movie for every single genre that is out there, pretty much. Romance, horror, suspense, thriller, action,
Superhero, fantasy.
religion. Like,
Hey,
he's been in everything.
I guess that just means he's the most diverse actor of our time, and I'll die on that hill.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Which, speaking of Joker,
Now I'm just thinking of Nicolas Cage roles and genres of movies. Like, has he been in like historical documentary type movies, like a Saving Private Ryan film?
I'm sure he has. I actually don't know off the top of my head.
And he was Spider-Man Noir in Into the Spider-Verse.
He was.
Oh my God, he was.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
You
he was
are right.
He was
I
also
enjoyed that movie. I enjoyed that
oh
movie.
the fuck. He was the dad character in Kick-Ass.
Yep.
I loved Kick-Ass. That movie is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It sucks that the second one is not near to the same caliber.
I don't think I bothered with the second one. I think most sequels I just like disregard.
Oh, Deadpool 2 is pretty good.
This is one.
That's true. That one's alright.
This is one.
Doesn't
Nicolas
hold up to
Cage
the first
movie.
one still, but still
I
pretty
don't know.
good.
I had a hard time picking between which one I liked more. I just really liked that they put Juggernaut in because they never really did Juggernaut too much justice in the other X movies.
True.
But the Deadpool 2 Juggernaut was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He just rips Deadpool in half like, fuck you, idiot. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna rip you in half. Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah. I completely lost my train of thought.
What's up?
USS Indianapolis. He was
Oh, that's cool.
the.
See? Nicolas Cage.
Fair enough.
Most diverse actor of our
I
generation.
would think that would fall into like a historical. It was about the sinking of and the trial.
I guess that'll work.
And then he was in The Wicker Man.
Wicker
They screwed it
Man,
up, but
Mandy, fairly recently, which I hear is a weird ass movie. I kind of want to see it.
Is it by Guillermo del Toro?
I have no idea.
Damn it.
I think it's like supposed to be like a horror action hybrid. I think I.
Oh,
don't
so like
know, but
Resident Evil from 4 to 6.
I guess.
Okay, no, that's not fair. 5 to 6. I'm not gonna rope forward. 4 was still spooky.
I don't
Video
know.
game movie.
Video game movie.
Video game genre.
Oh yeah, he has to have been. Let me think on that for a second.
I can't come up on the top of my head, but I'm
I
sure he
can't
has.
either. Yeah.
video game.
Yeah.
Is that really? Are we considering that a genre now?
Yes.
Fuck.
I do. I don't know what else to call it.
Was he in Ready
know.
Player One?
I don't think so.
Also, read the book. Don't watch that movie. The movie's retarded. The book, the concept is actually just stupid in general. Because
Astro Boy.
holy shit, he was an
he
Astro
was
Boy.
an Astro Boy.
Hell yeah! Wow, one of the
He was-
oldest
Attaboy.
animes
He
ever.
was Dr. Tenma.
I don't know what that is.
I think he's the creator of Astro Boy. He's like he's the Dr. Light to Mega Man.
I'm actually surprised he hasn't been in a Marvel movie yet. Like in an
He
MCU.
has.
He has.
Oh, not in the MCU, but
No,
he
yeah, I
was-
meant MCU.
Oh,
yeah.
'cause he was
I know
Ghost
that
Rider.
he was in Ghost Rider.
I think. Oh, dude, why isn't he Moon Knight?
Oh wow, that's actually perfect.
As he just comes up all hyped up on ketamine, like Dracula, you motherfucker. Where's my fucking money? That doesn't actually happen. It's just a really funny way to portray Moon Knight.
Yeah.
But yeah, why don't they do? I don't know. I mean, probably because they don't want because they tried once and it didn't work out.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Nicolas Cage is he's definitely a niche.
We just need
actor.
Hugh Jackman to play.
Hey, he's not
Well,
really though. He'll do anything. He's
I know,
more
but
eclectic than
In
niche.
terms of mainstream, I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't feel like the MCU would be like, yeah, let's cast Nicolas Cage as somebody.
See, the problem with that is he's Nicolas Cage. Like you'll never be like, oh, it's who the fuck would he play? Like, oh, he's the Wolverine. No, it's Nicolas Cage. Like you're never gonna suspend disbelief. It's the same problem that Woody Harrelson has. Whatever role Woody Harrelson, it doesn't matter. That's Woody Harrelson.
Oh god, I can't wait to see him as Carnage. It's gonna be either
it's probably gonna be terrible. Honestly,
well, I mean, because I know apparently they said confirmed that Tom Holland's Sony Spider-Man is going to cross over with Tom Hardy Venom, and I'm like, interesting.
Good. I hope that means more money because
did you hear?
Could have invested some more into that film.
Speaking of Tom Holland's Spider-Man and how they're going to basically destroy it,
mm-hmm.
he's probably going to be in Captain Marvel too.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Because they're, like I said, this is like not confirmed. This is not confirmed because it's just a thing that's like going around, but apparently it came from a reliable source that they're going to try and make Tom Holland Spider-Man have a quote-unquote schoolboy crush on Captain Marvel to try and humanize her and make it so people don't hate her as much.
Tom Holland's not a lesbian.
Fuck. Yeah.
Why? No, that's stupid though because he has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't think they care too much about that.
I care. It's my Spider-Man continuity, you motherfuckers.
Oh my God, Spider-Man continuity! They can't ruin the continuity of Spider-Man.
They can. It's
oh
horrible.
No! What'll happen if they ruin that?
Oh, I'll kill myself again.
No. No, it's like no.
You know how they fix that? Is they do they make a Spider-Verse movie live action and they bring back all the Spider-Men and have them reprise all their roles.
Okay, if they did that, do you realize how many spontaneous orgasms I would have thinking about that?
No, here's the thing though. From what I heard is that the Spider-Man that's going to appear in the Venom movies isn't going to be the MCU Spider-Man.
No, he's just played by Tom Holland.
Yeah, like they're going to, like I don't know how that's. I think that's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they do that.
So it's gonna be non-canon.
No, it's
not
going to be a
different.
MCU. It's going to be a different universe.
It's going to be
so basically. So Tom Holland is playing two different Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's just going to be non-canonical to Marvel. Universe.
So it's like it'll be interesting to see how they do that because it's like I almost feel like that's going to like mess with his character development to an extent.
Motherfuckers, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Suck dick. Make Venom part of the Marvel universe then. Just shut the fuck up and do it.
There's probably some stupid rights issues that make
it sucks because there's a really cool storyline going on in Marvel right now. The newest Maximum Carnage, and it is so good. There's a fucking cult to Carnage, and his symbiote is like multiplied and like set off to multiple people.
Guys, I want to start a cult.
We're working on it. Hard. What do you think we're doing? I mean,
soon.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Start chanting. Give me the candles.
Not that kind of cult.
No.
Just the.
I thought we were gonna summon Satan. Now I'm upset.
Well, I mean, we could try.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm back
well.
Satan or man bear pig?
No quiero no dos. Dun, 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 dun. Why not both?
No, but
I'd rather have Satan over man bear pig right now.
Same thing.
Probably, yeah.
Both is pretty good.
No, but while we're on the subject of movies and all that,
are you serial right now?
Would you like to look at that video?
Yeah.
So basically, we're going to be.
I don't remember.
I'll tell you what to look up. But we're gonna cover a video.
Okay.
Interesting.
Let's do this.
So basically, just look up Dave Cullen. You see, that's what I'm kind of curious about, because isn't that going to like mess with the audio to an extent?
No, not too much.
Let's play it on that.
Well, it'll be the same effect, no?
Oh, well, no, I mean like the audio getting picked up by the recorder. That's what I'm kind of like.
See, doing that doesn't. If we want to do that, we should make a separate segment where we do it through Discord and use watch together. That's what I think we should do. That should be if we want to cover a video, separate segment, Discord, watch together. Works way better than what we're trying to do right now. If we're gonna try to do that, in my opinion.
You might be right there.
Not that I want to do it, but just the audio feedback from one digital device to another recorder that's a mess. Could be a mess.
Yeah. Well, because the audio quality is going to be terrible on the actual recording, but it might be fixed if you sync the actual video audio up to it, but it's kind of a
Right, like that I can do no problem.
Well, here's the
I
thing
can-
too.
I
Every
can-
time we pause the video, you'll have to accommodate for that in the editing. So that's going to be a lot of work for you. Yeah.
See,
Basically, like we
I don't
don't
think
even
that's-
need to watch it. We could probably just bring up the main points that he made. Basically, it's the fact that Warner Brothers owns CNN, and it's the whole theory about whether or not Warner Brothers is just creating the whole thing around Joker about how it's going to cause a mass shooting and all that. It's all about white supremacy as a tactic for reverse psychology to get people to go see it.
which is actually something you were referring to earlier, stirring it up the pot to be like, hey, look.
And they were,
Shock-
and it was
shock
presented
viral marketing.
essentially, and it was presented as if it was a. Now here's the thing: in the video, is presented as a negative thing, as in it's like, oh, it's terrible that this is what we're doing and this is what it's come to. And for me, I was hoping to start the discussion of does it actually matter if that's what they're doing to get people to go see the movie?
It's a movie.
What are your thoughts on that?
Marketing is weird. Like marketing's it's a different animal. Like so much scientific research goes into how things are marketed, right?
How to sell.
Yeah.
Get the attention.
And it's all about, at the end of the day, it's about addiction. It's the real thing. Is how can we get people coming back? How can we get more and more views, more eyes, more clicks? And it doesn't matter if the same person's doing it. That's why the biggest YouTube channels are for kids, right? Like the hundreds of millions of views, and it's why they've had to go. That's why YouTube's having so much problems, is because there's like little things that people do in videos that'll go and it'll trip the algorithm.
It trips the fuck alarm.
Yeah.
But like even like and it's like the Spider-Man and Elsa craze that was going on. They were hitting the algorithm to get it onto YouTube Kids, and it's the same thing, just not with an algorithm. It's how it hits our brain.
Well, I guess
And Warner, which is what Time Warner, which owns Spectrum, which apparently owns Warner and CNN, all that shit.
Which, what are the implications of that?
That you want to circle back around to some Illuminati talk if you want.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's kind of, I mean, that's when we're talking about our, I want to call it maybe a shadow government. That's the equivalent of the Illuminati. It's just not, it's a little less mystic.
It's
that's the only thing.
it's globalism.
Yeah.
It's the New World Order. It's not. It's they want it to not be as nefarious, but there are super nefarious implications to controlling people through addiction. Like it even ties back to video games and shit. Like, man, I can't wait until my sub's up.
Well, it's just like in the video too. They were talking the way he was describing it. It was kind of like the idea is like, oh well, they're taking advantage of our intelligence to basically make us go see the movie because the SJWs don't like it, so therefore we should go see it. Mm-hmm. And the way that I look at it, like, well, for me at the very least, it's like it was a deciding factor, but I didn't go see Joker because of the fact that SJWs didn't like it. It helped with the decision.
But just because you didn't mean others did not.
True, that is true.
I'm sure some people did.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see it because the commercials made it look like it was actually going to be a decent movie and not just a popcorn bullshit film.
The trailers
actually
were
nowadays.
Pretty good for the selling point on it. But it kind of comes, like, for me, it just kind of comes down to the fact, it's like, is that really taking advantage of someone's intelligence? Does it actually matter how you get somebody to go see the movie?
The wording they're using there, we're taking advantage of intelligence.
I don't think he actually said those words.
Okay, that's what I was saying. It's like, that's very
I'm paraphrasing.
Provocative wording if that was the case, because also it still comes down to their choice to do it. You can influence someone as much as you want, but until you're putting a gun to the back of their head saying, do this or I'll kill you, it's still their choice.
It's my choice to put a needle in my arm too, but it's a super addictive substance, and I don't know. I have a hard time putting everything on the unfortunate soul that is addicted. And these things are addictive. They're designed to keep us going back, even if it's something as simple as as film, there's addictive nature to everything, and that's what advertising and everything loves to push on.
But
that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Isn't the addictive nature of things usually probably tied to dopamine release because of joy? Because technically, you could do that means you could technically make anything addictive.
Well,
People who
it's
could
true,
be
you
addicted
can.
to fishing.
Well, yeah,
They just love fishing so fucking much. It just makes them so goddamn happy that they're addicted to it because they need that rush of catching fish because it gives them enough dopamine.
true.
And the body wants to feel happy and good and all that other bullshit.
Yeah,
is
it's
true.
like the
That's
word
actually
addictive.
true.
The
But
word
it's-
addictive isn't necessarily a negative word in terms of its connotation. It's
true.
It's contextual because it's like obviously you're not going to go through withdrawals if you don't go and see a movie after however long.
Oh boy, I don't know about that though. Anything.
Why don't we try it with
anything in this world can be addictive. People get addicted to pulling their own hair out.
Well, yeah,
People are addicted to cutting themselves.
True.
Anything that will release dopamine, anything you can do in excess, and you can become addicted to anything. That's
yeah. I guess I would agree with that.
and that in and of itself isn't a bad thing, but it starts to become a bad thing once marketing and everything realizes that, and that hook is a weird thing, right? Because I don't want to be one of those people that like video games are bad, and because they're not, but companies that use the addictive nature of something, it's duplicitous.
Well, I mean,
It is.
that
It
comes
is.
back to how like loot boxes and
They're designed to be
supply
addictive.
drops are
And that's what I'm saying is like an MMO is also designed to be addictive. World of Warcraft is designed to hook people.
When I first played 14, I was playing literally nothing but that every day after work. As soon as I fucking got home until I went to bed, that shit was like.
Yeah, it's crack, man. Like, I know that I'm addicted to WoW.
I can't wait for Phantasy Star Online 2 to come out in fucking spring next year and play the shit out of that too.
But the addictive nature of something isn't inherently bad. Like coffee is caffeine. That's today's cocaine, man. Like everyone's addicted to caffeine.
Unless you're like a super vegan.
Uh,
Veganism is not
Even
caffeine.
vegans are hooked
I was
on
gonna
Because
say-
there's a lot of them that are
Yeah.
just like super
Even
aware.
vegans.
They get away from as many things like that as they can.
But-
There's other people who like it, but
I
are they
quit.
really living?
I was a smoker in some form. Like I smoked cigarettes, I chewed tobacco, and I vape. Somewhere
Oh my God,
between
we
the
get it,
three.
you vape.
For
Jesus
I was a nicotine addict for 10 years, right? And one day I gotta cut this shit out, and I've quit before, but now I've 2 years. 2 years I've been clean of nicotine. I didn't have any withdrawals. If I don't drink a cup of coffee or have some form of caffeine 2 days, I'm fucking debilitated, man.
Well, see,
Have you had a caffeine withdrawal headache?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
They
my! I feel
hurt.
run down. I feel sick. I get clammy. Fucking the worst headache ever. Caffeine is an addictive motherfucking substance, but I don't think caffeine should be banned. Like, I think
Well, there's almost an argument to be had that I don't necessarily agree with this argument, but there are some people that levy the idea that all drugs, no matter what they are, should just be legal.
I'm more for that than against it.
Like I see the way like the direction it's coming from. I don't know. I'd have to see how it would be
right.
implemented.
I'm there
I
with
suppose.
you.
Yeah.
So, but like
That's like
I don't
if
think
that-
there's gonna be madness on the streets if
No, I don't
if
think
it's
I don't
legal.
think it would be
But
that.
here's the thing.
But-
Here's the really fucked thing.
Yeah.
Let me put on my conspiracy hat real quick. Did you know
Probably not, but I'm going to hear it.
that meth is legal?
Uh-huh.
That meth, like I'm not talking Adderall or some different variant of amphetamine, because I mean we've had amphetamines in the market for forever, but actual legitimate methamphetamine is legal and prescribed to children.
Why children specifically?
It's an ADD drug, ADHD
Yep.
drug. Meth.
Time to get on the next watch list, boys.
I was
I think it's
thinking about
Desoxin.
that. Wouldn't
Desoxin?
meth make it worse?
Not necessarily.
Controlled doses.
Caffeine keeps him awake if he drinks it too late. does nothing to me.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Ritalin. Like they used to prescribe kids Ritalin. Well, they still do. But kids would pass that shit out to each other because those that needed it, it would be a calming agent for them. Kids that don't need it, man, it makes little wild monsters.
Uh-huh.
It turns them into little fucking crackheads.
Big Mouth actually had an episode of that this season.
I literally can't even watch that show just because the art style makes me want to fucking throw up.
Yeah.
It's so horrid.
I've seen all of it, so I watched the 3rd season to see if they fixed screw-ups in season 2. But, yeah, no, Jay got...
Yeah, Disoxin. It's an actual methamphetamine.
Does it have I'm guessing it has the same ingredients for the most part.
No. It's the same chemical compound. Same exact. Like, Adderall is an amphetamine, but they tweak a little bit of it so it's not.
Right.
Disoxin is the drug prescription name of methamphetamine, and it is prescribed. Let me go back.
You said it's basically for kids with ADHD, so it's essentially meant to be a calming agent.
Yeah, it can treat ADHD. Yeah. It can also help obese patients lose weight. They actually use it now as a weight loss thing, which is what the amphetamines originally did for. I mean, as well as the Nazis and U.S. and Japanese soldiers use that shit for staying up, keeping up.
Also helps you lose all your teeth.
You're losing weight.
Well, I mean that's from the acidic nature of the way that they smoke it. Like if you take it in pill form, But drugs are legal. That's our huge opioid epidemic in the United States isn't from heroin. That's that people go to heroin, but
it's
our
drugs.
opioid epidemic in this country is from doctors. Like
they're just out here like
we
lemon poppy seed muffin motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean we there's a huge drug problem in this country, and it is legal. Like that's the real crux, and that's why that goes into why I oppose legalization, because a good marketing strategy is make something illegal, drive demand up, legalize it, and keep it under the government thumb. And so they get to tax the shit out of it while making profits off of it. It's what's happening in California. Now, like, there are places that require a college degree to be able to sell weed in California. Like, there's been a spike in illegal marijuana sales because of the restrictions that are being put on selling weed in California. Like, and it's all for that moolah. That's what it's
your mighty shekel.
It's to put it in the government pocket rather than privatization. That's anarchy. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Because everything's twisted. When the government gets involved, man, everything gets twisted and it gets real funky.
Well, it's kind of like the government was trying to, I don't know if they still are, they might be trying to get involved with the whole banning of loot boxes in video games. They were going to make a law that made it illegal or something
because they were considering it to be gambling.
Yep.
And they were considering it marketing gambling to minors, and
which technically I agree with. I personally think that it should be banned, but
government. I don't want it for a personal reason because I think it's shit and it ruins my fucking video games and it makes certain things pay to win. And I don't like it.
I think people need to change their shitty ways and take stands, because as it is, I don't think the government should be banning that, because they're gonna go and they're gonna make it illegal. And then they're going to find a way. They're going to take a couple of years. Demand's going to drive up. There's going to be a giant increase in like underground shit, the same way that it has been. It's going to drive up, and they'll be like, oh, well, maybe we should make it legal. And then they're going to tax the shit out of it. Yeah. They did the same thing with prohibition.
Yeah.
And it led to a giant rise in crime.
Which is why, that's why, like I said, I do think it should be banned, but I don't think it should be through government involvement. And then they re-legalized it once the government had a chokehold on it, and they could tax every little bit of alcohol that's made. And now, if I were to go and start up a little homebrew kit in my kitchen, I can go to jail. Yeah.
But Not if I have this little piece of paper that the government says it's okay. They take our rights away, and then they sell it back with a piece of paper. They sell us our rights back with a piece of paper.
Yeah.
In all regards, I think that is terrible.
It makes me think of the Ron Swanson thing. It's like, you have to have a permit to do this here, sir. Well, I have a permit. This just says I can do whatever I want. Yes.
Yeah.
This is America.
Yes, sir. Should be. Land of the free.
Yeah.
Ish.
Well.
Sorry, guys. I went off on a little bit of tirade on this one.
That's interesting. Thinking of our, I think it was last week we talked about the whole anarchistic society thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's this place in Final Fantasy XIV's world there, this Great Plains area, and there's I think 4 tribes that do this, that like live here, and everybody gets to sit atop the Sun Throne when they win this yearly fight. It's like a competition between all 4 tribes, and they get to, and whoever wins, whichever tribe wins, they're in charge. You want to be in charge?
I like that.
Better win next year, idiot. That's how it works.
I like to play devil's advocate with stuff, and I've been thinking about this anarchy thing a lot because I like to. If you go and play devil's advocate, you see the downside of something and see how you can fix a problem, right? So on occasion I watch Asmongold. You know who that is?
Oh yeah, I know who Asmongold is. I don't think he's entertaining mostly because I think he's kind of a douche.
Yes, but sometimes he's entertaining for me. I generally watch like his like YouTube clips. I can't tolerate him on Twitch because what I'm about to go into.
Oh boy.
He's my reason against anarchy. So humans kind of want to be ruled. They want to be told what to do. And
thinking hard.
Unfortunately, like I want to be free. Most people would say that they want to be free. I imagine, but when push comes to shove, it's easier to be told what to do.
Well, it's kind of like the whole idea of like the whole ideologies and how people conform to them and such, just because they hear something, it's like, oh yeah, that sounds about right, and then they'll just agree with it without actually looking into it.
So, classic WoW. He had a whole thing where like I'm not going to take any gold or any items from anybody until I reach max level to keep the experience pure. And like everyone, yeah, okay, sure. So anyway, that pans out about as well as you imagine. He ends up taking a bunch of gold from people and everything, and he's going for after he hits max level, he's going for his epic mount, and he's like, all right, everyone, give me gold, give me gold, and like, yeah, retards, come, give me all your money, go work so I don't have to, come. And he's just saying it, and everyone's like, it's funny because it makes people angry, and like, there's real world implications to that shit. Like,
yeah,
we do like
kind of
like the shit that our tax dollars go to. We turn a blind eye to it and everything, but we fund abhorrent shit, and it's just a mount in my example, but he has such a large fan base, like, and it's not his whole fan base, maybe 1% of his fan base, like, give him everything that he wants in this world. Anyway, my point, in an anarchic society, there's gonna be an Asmongold.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be little trolls that go and will flock to him and give everything, and not in the way of like gold and stuff, but in power. Like, I don't know how to deal with that issue aside from rise up. Other people.
That's the thing. You can't stop it from happening. You can only remove it once it's started. It's like cancer.
Yeah,
you can't really stop it from happening because it kind of just happens eventually. But you can remove it, hopefully.
That's the beauty of anarchy. Is there's nothing really stopping. But then you run into like, okay, well then there's always going to be constant fighting and squashing big dick. Like, there's always going to be that perpetual fight. And, like, well, that's common throughout history with or without government. So, at the end of the day, by destroying anarchy, it's not really anarchy. You're just making tribalism the government. There's
Yeah.
hundreds of governments, and you just have to pick which one you subscribe to, right?
Yeah.
I'm more in that Pirate Kingdom of Libertalia type thing, which I'm going to be making a video of. And
then they
some
fucked that
point
up
in time.
too.
They got if like it's unknown, I guess. Like people are saying that it was never really a thing, but of course that's what they would say.
No, I bet it's somewhere. I bet Libertalia is somewhere.
Well, it was an act, like if I was reading up a little bit on it. It was after our revolution, a bunch of there was one guy, I can't remember his name, who was a pretty benevolent pirate, and he's like, fuck the crown, and he goes and he seizes other pirate ships and like, hey, we're free, we're gonna go and we're gonna divvy out everything. And he's pretty much like Pirate Robin Hood, and they go and they set up their own kingdom. Anyway, it ends up getting squashed because, you know, bigger man always wins, and that's the problem is like,
when they get so big, how do you stop them?
exactly, like that'll, like, you'll always, if you have a nice utopia is great if there's nothing bigger. Like there's always a bigger fish is the real problem. There's always going to be something that's going to go and see what somebody has and want it, and they're going to go take it.
See, it's interesting because you talk about like freedom pirates. In One Piece, there's considered to be two types of pirates. There's considered to be the freedom pirates, the people who want to explore, live their life free of the law, be able to just exist and do the things they want to do and just chill. And then there's the other type of pirates who go out of their way to attack other people and take whatever they want to and hurt other people at all times.
Yeah, they call those Somalis anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the difference. That's the two types of pirates in that universe. There's the good and the bad ones, essentially, obviously. But, you know, it's interesting thinking about what does it mean to be just having freedom and doing whatever you want, and then there's I have freedom to do whatever I want, but I also do it at the expense of other people whenever I have the chance to.
See,
because fuck you, you have something I want, and I'm not going to trade for it. I'm just going to fucking kill you and take it.
That's where I fall is, there are inalienable rights that we as human beings have, and that was what the whole setup of our government was supposed to be. Was the government was put in place to protect those rights, not to give us rights. The government can't give us anything. They can sure as shit take away. But the government was set up to protect our rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Those are things that they can't take away. And I think in a perfect anarchy society, utopian society, like that's the only thing that should happen, is if you step on somebody else's rights, that's the only time that your rights are taken away. In the form of, well, I think eye for an eye is a pretty good way to go about it. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I'm sorry, that was horribly ironic, your wording you just chose to use, but I can't say that I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it 100%, but I agree with it to a strong 95.
Yeah, I know. That's about the same.
But anything like, man, government's weird, isn't it? It's fun.
It's hard to nail it down. There's never gonna, like I said, you're never gonna nail it down because humans fucking suck.
Yeah, at the end of the day, there's always gonna be somebody that wants to take what others have, and we've always had a problem with control and power because
absolute power corrupts absolutely.
I think power shows corruption. I think power exposes corruption.
Reasonable.
There are good people that, given power, do good things. There are also people that fall. I think it exposes that corruption in the heart more than anything.
How often would you say that somebody who has that power isn't corrupt? Like in terms of like history, is there anybody who pops to mind?
George Washington.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's the only one that, when given that power, denied it that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, because they were trying to keep him doing it, and he's like, no, I think I'm done. Isn't that when they introduced term limits?
No, we didn't introduce term limits until FDR, when we had to, like, hey, Christ. That's enough of
because
that.
He had like
he was
four
going for
terms.
A fourth term.
Mm-hmm. Didn't he have a fourth term?
I think he died during it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
But yeah, that
That was the
dude
point where
a
they
rancid motherfucker.
Was it?
1935 led to some of the biggest loss of our freedoms as a country that we've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, only thing bigger was in 1913 when centralized banking took over the world in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got deep this one.
We did actually. We got really down the rabbit hole.
Some good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Well.
But I think it's about time that we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Till next time.
Next.